Okay.
Bentham's
Moving
head.
on.
Bentham gives head.
This isn't a VR stream without tangents. Indeed. Next news item. What's the deal with the GOP's bizarre new anti-porn bill?
And what's
Um,
the deal with...
well, I mean, realistically, the deal is it's the same as the last two times this guy tried to introduce it, so it's not new.
It's
The
so
second verse, same as the first.
it's not new, however, it kind of is. Hold on. I do have to give a little pushback on that one only because I read Project 2025. So, I'm sorry. It
I mean, the article that I have pulled up uses the word Christo-fascist, so
I mean that's
you're not wrong.
so it is a little bit different this time around because it is working in tandem with an idea that things like trans people existing out in public counts as pornography or a form of pornographic expression. And this is something
Hmm.
that is detailed in the first 200 pages. I say first 200 because I can't remember where in the first 200 it is. I'm sorry. But it's detailed in the first 200 pages of Project 2025. And I did end up going over this part on stream, so I do remember this one very, 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 very blatantly. Any porn ban right now comes part and parcel with an attempt to take trans people out of public life as of right
Okay.
now.
This article doesn't get into that, but I am sure that that is correct. Um, but yeah, so this is the Interstate Obscenity Definition Act, which would make the possession of all media related to the prurient interest in nudity, sex, or excretion a criminal act, which, with that definition, that is such a broad definition that I am aware of Christian movies that would run afoul of that and be
Also,
considered pornographic.
there's a bill in Texas that does this specifically with anime, and it's the goal is obviously to try to ban hentai, but the problem is that there is so much anime, shonen specifically, that features characters who act like adults and work like adults, but just happen to be 15 because that's the age demographic that it is sold to. And they get themselves in risque situations all the time. Dragon Ball Z, there's moments where Roshi literally asks Bulma to flip up her skirt so he will do something for Goku. In Naruto, there's always the scenes where Naruto is literally changing into a woman who is naked as one of his attacks. Sailor Moon, the transformation sequences. These all happen to be characters who, at the time of these events, are teenagers because that's what the story sells to. And these are 100% inappropriate acts that have happened. They are not pornographic, but they are certainly something that is technically outlawed by that Texas bill.
Yep. Yeah, no, but so back to the Christian movie idea. I've seen Christian movies where very clearly, like it's very obviously a Christian movie. They're doing a Christian message. Then it's like it's actually like a genuine, like it's not people poking fun at it. It's genuine. These are the things I believe. But very clearly, the director or writer or whoever was in charge of like it's usually small budget productions that this happens in, but like there's a cute girl that they know. They're like, oh, this is my chance to get her in a crop top and make sure that the camera pans that very slowly a lot. Um, Hell, there's one that God Awful Movies did not too
Mm-hmm.
long ago that it's absolutely insane. Um, but it actually like you actually see naked boobs and there is a sex scene. And Colin Mockery is a bad guy called the Hat. Speaking of, thank you,
Okay.
Jassa. New hat time. You know who Colin Mockery is, right?
No, I
Please
don't.
tell me you don't know who Colin Mockery is.
No.
You know whose line is it anyway?
I mean, I know that it exists.
Okay, well, from back in the Drew Carey days, Colin Mockery was the Canadian, the bald Canadian that they had, and he's just like a delightful person and a nice guy, and they cast him as the bad guy, and he just does not do it, and it's hilarious.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
So Jassa says, I almost had a chance to see him live, but tickets were like $200. I'll do you one better. I almost had a chance to talk to him, but I was off the day that he came into the restaurant. But apparently, he is a delightful person.
Hmm.
Everybody loved him. I was there when Jesse Eisenberg was there. And Jesse Eisenberg also seemed like a nice guy, but he was much more just leave me alone to eat my dinner. But like not in a rude way, just in a like he's not engaging everybody in conversation. He's just there for dinner.
Hmm.
Whereas apparently Colin was like actually chatting with people and having a good time or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, so that would be porn. A Colin mockery movie would be porn under this under this bill. Um, let's see. This is Utah Senator Mike Lee's thing, and I like this. They say the man has never met a perfidious conspiracy theory that he hasn't immediately fallen in love with, to the point that he's floated the idea that deep cover federal agents orchestrated January 6th insurrection.
Of course.
Which this is one of those things where it's like, okay, but like, you know who's in charge of the FBI now, right? Like, there would be records of this if the FBI did that. So like, and there's zero chance that Kash Patel would hide those records if he found them.
Speaking of
So
just a small tangent, speaking of people who are in weird positions of power now, you see that a dude who like got famous being anti-COVID vaccine on a bunch of podcasts and shit is now like head of whether or not COVID vaccines get to be distributed to people at all, and has subsequently said that COVID vaccines will not be available to anybody under 65.
no, I hadn't seen that.
Yep.
Um, is that? Oh, what's the person's name? Just a second. Do 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 do. It's okay. Joe Rogan goes on his phone on the show all the time. So this is what I need to do to be popular: is just ignore what's going on here and just be on my phone. Because
Okay.
I'm looking for a thing. I'm looking for a thing.
You are
Joe
looking
Rogan
for a
does it.
thing.
Joe Rogan. Hey Jamie, find the thing that I.
Dr. Vinay Prasad
Okay.
is the person who's in charge of that now. He's the new director of the FDA's Center for Biological Evaluation and Research.
Do, 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 do.
He was a very vocal proponent of RFK Jr.'s ideas on medicine and health before getting his position.
So, Surgeon General, yeah, that's what she's. Casey Means has been nominated to be the Surgeon General. Casey Means is she graduated from medical school, but she never finished her residency, so she's not technically a doctor. She has the MD, but isn't technically a doctor. She has been very much anti vaccine. She has also been anti birth control. She was on the Joe Rogan Experience like a week before Trump was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's going to be the Surgeon General,
I hate it here.
and yeah, I forget what I was going to say about her, but yeah, it sucks. Anyway, so Lee's bill classifies the prurient interest in nudity, sex, or excretion as a criminal offense, but what is interest here? How will the cops or feds know when you are interested in, say, a really nice pair of nude shoulders? Your guess is as good as mine. So this brings it back to the Christian movie thing. Doesn't even have to be one of the rare Christian movies that show boobies. It could just be one where a woman is in a strapless dress for a second.
I hate it here.
And like, actually, to bring up Sinners again, I remember a review. I don't remember if I told you this on air, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself.
Ah.
But one of the reviews that kind of made me giggle about it was someone complained that the sex scenes weren't all that sexy, and it's like, yeah, they weren't. It actually looked like the director went out of his way to avoid making things overly sexy. but then one of the things that I mentioned to my partner coming out of it is like, yeah, no, the sex scenes weren't all that sexy, but like some of the dresses they had the ladies in were just like, ooh boy. So I'm like, okay, that's porn now.
You got a stiffy, therefore porn.
I don't think I did,
You can think.
but I don't keep a log. So
You don't keep a log of when you get a stiffy?
yeah.
I don't know when I'm standing at attention, but I might have been.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, I guess Sinners is porn now because I really liked some of those dresses.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we don't need to get into that whole thing. So that's that one.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you.
Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that,
Leela Ururaka,
Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fire Shard.
thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.